Properly using the right tool for the job is a great way to avoid injury and liability. How do you properly cut an all-thread rod? A potential hazard of using a bandsaw would be that the blade might bounce and cut your hand. A good action plan would be to put the rod in a vise and use 2 hands on the saw and allow the tool to do the work. Let's say your task is to cut sheet metal. Using proper tools, in this case double-cut shears instead of a bandsaw, will help to prevent injury. How do you properly work near a sprinkler head? One potential hazard of your activity is that you could trigger the sprinkler system from the heat or smoke generated by your tool. You want to avoid activating the emergency water system and soaking the building's tenants and assets, causing considerable damage. Water control boxes can be important safety controls on your site. Your water control box contains plugs, a pump, and pig blankets that can be rolled and placed at the door to prevent leaks. Some activities require a fire watch on site too. Need to know more about the right tool or how to use it? Ask your foreman, supervisor, or safety manager. Falling may look funny in the movies, but in real life, it usually results in a serious injury. If you're going to be working near a hole or an edge, the potential hazard would be to fall. Your action plan should be to make sure that any holes are properly covered and that any edges have a guardrail. Guardrails are usually effective, but simply being on a ladder can make the guardrail useless. Near an open hole or an edge with no rail, a personal fall arrest system or a scissor lift should be used. Proper fitting, attachment, lanyard, and calculation are all necessary to make a fall arrest system effective. Need to know the proper way to cover a hole, build a guardrail, use a scissor lift, or use a personal fall arrest system? Ask your foreman, supervisor, or safety manager. Suppose your activity requires being on a ladder. It is important to choose the correct ladder for the activity. Extension ladders should extend 3 feet above the landing and be tied off to prevent slipping. A step ladder has to be fully opened with the braces locked. When working on a step ladder, even if you don't fall, reaching out could strain your back and/or muscles. And remember, never stand on the top 2 steps. In your action plan, you would want to list minimizing movements and reaching and straining to minimize the risk of injury.